Lobster fishing is a traditional occupation in many coastal areas of Vietnam, especially in the central and southern provinces. Lobster fishing is often done by netting or using traps. First, fishermen will use small boats to go to sea, choosing areas with reefs where lobsters often live. Nets or traps are specially designed so as not to harm the lobsters, while still being able to hold them when they enter the trap. Usually, the traps will be dropped to the seabed and the fishermen will return after a while to check. Some areas also use the technique of raising lobsters in cages to harvest larger and better quality lobsters. Lobster fishing requires high technique and patience, because lobsters are difficult to catch and are vulnerable if not handled carefully. After harvesting, lobsters are carefully inspected to ensure quality. Because lobsters are a species of high economic value, consumed mainly in the domestic and export markets, some fishermen also use baited traps to lure lobsters in, with foods such as fresh fish or squid. The process of harvesting and preserving lobsters is very important, because if not careful, lobsters can easily die or be damaged, affecting the quality of the meat. After catching lobsters, they are often transported in containers with seawater to keep them alive until they reach consumers or processing facilities. In addition to wild fishing, many fishermen are now involved in lobster farming in cages. This method helps lobsters grow in an environment that is close to the natural environment, with special care for food, water and living conditions. Lobster farming also reduces pressure on natural exploitation, protects aquatic resources and provides high-quality lobster products to the market. However, lobster fishing and farming still require a lot of experience and large investments from fishermen to ensure economic efficiency and protect marine resources. In addition to requiring technical skills and careful care during the process of catching and farming lobsters, this profession also faces many challenges from environmental factors and climate change. Warming seawater, marine pollution and the decline of marine ecosystems can seriously affect the quantity of lobsters as well as the quality of the product. These changes force fishermen to adjust their fishing and farming methods to adapt. Meanwhile, the authorities are also making efforts to manage and protect aquatic resources, establish marine conservation areas, limit overfishing and encourage people to switch to sustainable farming models to ensure the sustainable development of lobster fishing. A number of studies are also being conducted to develop new farming technologies, from improving lobster breeds to building more efficient cage farming systems, minimizing environmental impacts and growing lobsters to standards. Lobster products such as fresh lobster, steamed lobster, grilled lobster, or processed lobster are also becoming more and more popular, expanding the consumption market not only domestically but also exporting to the world. Lobster fishing and farming, despite many challenges, is still an important industry. Bringing in large income for fishermen and contributing to the country's fisheries economy to maintain the sustainable development of lobster fishing and farming. Combining science and technology with environmental protection is extremely important. Research on lobster biology, especially the development of lobster varieties that are resistant to diseases and adaptable to harsh environmental conditions, is being carried out at many research institutes. In addition, the application of advanced farming techniques, such as cage farming systems with controlled water quality and habitat, helps to minimize the risk of disease and increase lobster productivity. In addition, organizations and authorities are also strengthening propaganda and education for fishing communities on the importance of protecting aquatic resources, encouraging responsible fishing and compliance with regulations on marine environmental protection. One of the important measures is to limit the fishing of lobsters during the spawning season, to ensure the sustainable development of the natural lobster population. In addition to environmental protection, improving infrastructure and enhancing product quality is also very important. Lobster processing facilities need to ensure safe and hygienic production processes, complying with international standards on food quality, to meet the increasing demand of the domestic and export markets. At the same time, developing linkage models between fishermen and processing enterprises will create a closed value chain, from exploitation, farming to processing and consumption, helping to increase income and stabilize the lives of workers in the industry. With these efforts, lobster fishing and farming not only contribute to the economic development of coastal areas but also help protect and maintain valuable marine resources, contributing to the sustainable development of Vietnam's seafood industry in the future. To continue to develop sustainable lobster fishing and farming, policy innovation and raising public awareness are essential. The government and relevant agencies can increase measures to support fishermen in terms of technology and finance. As well as develop training programs on how to raise lobsters effectively, safely and environmentally friendly, creating funds to support fishermen in upgrading boats, modern fishing equipment, or building modern processing facilities will help increase productivity and the value of lobster products, while minimizing negative impacts on the marine environment. In addition, international cooperation also plays an important role in enhancing the value of the lobster industry. Export markets, especially countries such as Japan, Korea, China and the US, require lobster products to meet high-quality standards and have clear origins. Therefore, applying international standards on traceability, food safety and environmental protection will help Vietnamese lobster products compete strongly in the international market. Exporting enterprises need to build strict quality control systems to ensure that lobsters transported to international markets are always fresh, while fully complying with regulations on protecting aquatic resources. In addition, the promotion of closed lobster farming models, such as shrimp farming in recirculating systems, RAS, or shrimp farming in areas with water quality and environmental control, is also being researched and developed by scientists and experts in the industry. These models not only minimize negative impacts on the marine environment but also help fishermen increase productivity and ensure more stable product quality, reducing dependence on natural exploitation sources. An equally important factor is the conservation of natural spawning areas for lobsters. Local authorities can coordinate with conservation organizations, businesses and fishermen to establish marine reserves, where lobster fishing is limited or suspended during spawning seasons. This helps protect lobster breeding stocks, sustain the growth of wild lobster populations, and ensure the long-term stability of lobster fishing and farming. In short, lobster fishing and farming have great potential. But also face many challenges. Only with close coordination between the government, fishermen, businesses, and environmental protection organizations can the lobster industry develop sustainably and continue to bring long-term economic value to coastal communities and the country. One of the key factors in the sustainable development of lobster fishing and farming is the transition to a blue ocean economy model, focusing on environmental protection and biodiversity. Recent studies have shown that without measures to protect and restore marine ecosystems, aquatic resources in general and lobsters in particular will be severely depleted. Therefore, specific strategies are needed to protect important marine ecosystems such as coral reefs and rocky sea areas where lobsters often live. In addition to marine protected areas, it is extremely important to strengthen research activities and monitor the health of wild lobster populations. Collecting data on the number, distribution, and environmental factors affecting the development of lobsters will help management agencies make accurate decisions on the protection and development of this industry. Lobster fishing also needs to be strictly controlled, through measures such as limits on the size of lobsters that can be exploited, fishing seasons, and regulations on prohibited fishing areas. At the same time, the application of organic production models in lobster farming is also a trend that many fishermen are interested in. These models use farming methods that do not use chemicals or antibiotics, making lobster products cleaner and safer, while protecting the marine ecosystem. Lobster feed in this model is also carefully selected from sustainable resources, avoiding overexploitation of other aquatic species in the wild. An important factor that cannot be ignored is the development of support services for the lobster industry, such as services providing feed, medicine, farming equipment, and logistics services. Lobster processing and exporting enterprises can work closely with fishermen and research organizations to create a complete and sustainable value chain. Connecting Vietnamese lobster products to international markets also requires management agencies to increase support in terms of quality standards, certification and national brand protection, so that lobster products can dominate demanding markets, while increasing product value. The future of lobster fishing and farming depends not only on aquatic resources, but also on the ability to adapt to changes in the market and environment. Maintaining a highly competitive industry like lobster requires creativity and approaches, from farming technology, environmental protection, to market development and national brand building. When all these factors are implemented in a synchronous and sustainable manner, lobster fishing and farming not only bring economic benefits, but also help conserve marine resources and improve the lives of coastal fishermen. Thus, lobster fishing and farming, with its great potential, will continue to play an important role in Vietnam's marine economy, if we know how to manage and develop this industry in a reasonable, scientific and sustainable manner. To ensure the long-term development of lobster fishing and farming, the application of high technology in the process of farming and preserving products is an indispensable factor. Technologies such as lobster farming in a closed system, RAS, help control water quality and reduce the risk of disease, bringing higher economic efficiency. In addition, the application of technology in monitoring the health of lobsters, such as using sensors to monitor temperature, pH and oxygen levels in the water, also helps to optimize the living environment for lobsters, thereby promoting rapid and sustainable development. Lobster processing technology also plays an important role in enhancing product value. Advanced processing methods such as flash freezing help preserve fresh lobsters for a long time without reducing quality, creating opportunities to expand export markets. In addition, the development of ready-made products such as stir-fried lobster, grilled lobster or canned lobster not only meets domestic consumption needs but also exports. Expanding the ability to consume lobsters around the world. On the other hand, encouraging cooperation models between fishermen and processing and exporting enterprises will create a more sustainable value chain. This linkage not only helps fishermen access modern farming techniques, but also creates a supportive ecosystem throughout the industry. From production, processing to consumption, industry organizations and associations also play an important role in connecting stakeholders, promoting compliance with international standards, thereby ensuring the quality and reputation of Vietnamese lobster products in the international market. Finally, developing tourism associated with lobster fishing is also a great opportunity to create added value for this profession. Coastal tourist areas can organize lobster fishing tours, allowing visitors to experience the farming and processing of lobsters firsthand, while also helping to raise public awareness of the importance of this industry to the local economy. However, lobster fishing and farming are not only a major economic sector but also an important part of sustainable marine economic development. Technological solutions, cooperation between parties and important environmental protection work will be the key to helping this industry continue to thrive in the future to further promote the development of lobster fishing and farming. One of the key factors is to raise public awareness and responsibility in protecting aquatic resources and marine resources. Conservation strategies do not only focus on limiting fishing but also include restoring degraded marine ecosystems. For example, replanting coral reefs, improving seawater quality and protecting natural lobster breeding areas will help ensure that marine resources are maintained and developed sustainably in the long term. Another important measure is to develop lobster farming models in clearly planned areas, avoiding uncontrolled development that puts pressure on natural ecosystems. Creating lobster farming areas with responsible production processes and close monitoring will help minimize negative impacts on the environment.